Welcome to the Sailor Noob podcast, where a superfan and a noob talk about the original Sailor Moon episode by episode. I'm your host, Mikan Hana, joined by my co-host.
I'm the co-host, Caliban. I'm also the noob, and it's a Minako's trying to kill everyone jam!
Yeah! And we're a couple of magical people ready to moon crystal power make up this episode. Sailor Noob is brought to you by... I couldn't resist.
Good luck going digging for that. Everyone.
Yeah, well, it's Kill Bill, everybody.
It's actually from Twisted Nerve.
Right. The whistling is from Twisted Nerve, but it's
that's the theme.
Featured in Kill Bill.
Yes. Music by Bernard Herrmann.
Yes. I always think of that scene with Kill Bill whenever I mean,
See a nurse?
Well,
hospitals must be great.
So I was either going to do that or Animaniacs. Hello, Nurse.
Oh.
So
Well, there goes my Deke title.
Sorry. I didn't think that really fit. You know, it was more, like you said, it's a Minako trying to kill everybody jam.
Stop talking before you kill any more titles for me.
Today we are talking about episode number 78. Vinasu Minako no Nasu Daisoro in Japanese, Venus Minako's Nurse Mayhem, the English translation, and the English title, No Thanks, Nurse Venus. I like that title. I think that's pretty...
Some Nurse Mayhem.
Pretty great.
Going on in here.
Yeah, I know. And
speaking of mayhem...
Also, yeah, what's going on?
There's a lot of mayhem going on in Japan right now as they prepare for the Olympic Games.
Yes.
The 2020 Olympic Games. Don't check your calendar.
Right.
They were delayed because of COVID.
Yes.
And many anime fans are mad that anime characters are being used to promote the games. Characters like Astro Boy and One Piece Man and
I haven't
Naruto
One
Man
Piece either.
and Sailor Moon.
Yeah.
And Goku from Dragon Ball Z Man.
They're all mans. And then the one girl, Sailor Moon.
Yeah.
You're the token girl, Usagi. I don't know how you feel about that.
And, well, there's other girls. I just don't recognize them. And so we didn't get to that in animatification. And, the problem is that these are contentious games because a lot of people think that they shouldn't be happening, period, at all.
Fair.
Especially in a country where under a quarter of the population has one shot.
Is that
of a vaccine.
right?
Yeah. And so they've been dealing with stuff. It was announced literally today, when we're recording this, that the Tokyo Games will feature no spectators. So try to get that hotel res back now.
Yeah, right.
They will be playing to no one, but they're still going to go on for some reason. Many anime fans are mad. Of course, they need to be reminded that these deals were cut years ago.
Oh, sure.
When it was announced that the Olympic Games would return to Tokyo.
Yeah.
That's when, I'm sure these deals were made with Viz and everybody else, all the rights holders. So they're just, as planned, rolling these character commercials out, but it's resonating poorly with a lot of fans.
Are people upset because they don't want their favorite characters associated with these contentious games?
Would you?
No. I mean, I don't love it. I don't think Usagi would be like, love and justice. Yeah.
And the javelin throw.
Yeah. I don't think she would be like...
Moon shot put.
Yeah.
Record.
I mean, she does throw her tiara like a frisbee, but...
The tiara throw.
Yeah, right.
100-meter tiara throw.
She would win that one, for sure.
She has to dance around for a minute before she does it, though.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just... They're just going to do it, They're just invested. And the worst part is, now you're literally stuck doing it, and you're getting nothing for it. Because the reason that you do it in the first place is for the tourism, right? Yes. All the people come to Tokyo, all the businesses... their boats are lifted. There's commerce and trade and tourism, and that's not going to happen now.
It's kind of surprising.
I mean, you can go, you just can't go to the games.
You can't go to the games.
Yeah, it'd be like when you went to the '96 Olympics.
I did go to the '96 Olympics.
Where were you?
Atlanta.
At that park when the
Oh, with the
Sorry, I'm just trying to pin the bombing on you. Don't worry about it.
No, I think that actually happened. I either wasn't going there that day or I had like just gotten home like the day before. So I wasn't there the entire time, but
yeah. A likely story. Can anybody corroborate that?
My best friend.
That's bad alibi.
Beep boop, beep boop, beep boop, calling my best friend. No, I'm just kidding.
Let me get my cat on the phone. Hold on.
If it's Luna, that's not a problem.
Well, yeah. Well, what a bright and happy, fun way to start a show that's going to be all about getting infected by a disease. We'll try to pick it up.
I know, right?
We'll try to make it go as smoothly as possible. I've got my nurse outfit on right now.
It's amazing.
Stockings are itchy.
Yeah, well,
I was going authentic. They're wool. They're not nylon. So.
You're serious?
Yeah, this is the Florence Nightingale. It's all regulation.
Oh, okay. All right. Now I know. I think Cal is gunning for a sticker, everybody. Anyways, would you, without further ado, like to give us a breakdown of today's episode?
No, none from me, but there is going to be ado. There's much ado in this episode.
About
Whether
nothing?
or not it's about anything,
Yeah.
we're going to find out. But it's Christmas, apparently.
Yeah.
Suddenly,
Yeah.
in Juban, we see folks on the street. They're bundled up warm. And on a storefront TV, we see a pair of newscasters discussing the influenza outbreak that seems limited to the Azubujuban area.
Strange.
Many schools have been closed, and there's no cure.
Yes.
I mean, there's no cure for the flu, really, anyway, but they don't know what to do.
Right.
They can't combat it, let's say. And that's just fine with Esmeraude, who we see on the street in a black fur coat, a fox fur hat, and rose-tinted shades.
Mm-hmm.
She says her future's so bright, she's going back to the past and wearing shades. Doesn't matter. She says, no one suspects the flu is caused by dark power. Stupid humans, you should all be infected. Just wait.
Yeah,
It'll
right.
happen. But how stupid could the humans be? I see a lot of masks, and I see some PPE here on the street. So
Yes.
the joke's on her. Real life Tokyo, maybe not so much. Well, they wear masks, but they don't seem to believe in vaccines for some reason. I guess supply is also part of the problem.
Yes, it is.
Who knew that in 2021 we'd be talking about this episode from 1993 or
I
4.
know.
But anyway, here we are. As she laughs with her usual energy, we see Minako pass her on the street with determination. Minako remarks that many people have been infected and that it's time for the goddess of love, Minako I know, to act.
Yes.
Did she get a promotion? Goddess of love. You don't see Jupiter claiming that she rules everyone, or Mercury running around really fast.
No, you don't.
The Ray does like to start fights, though.
She does. And I mean, to be fair, she does call herself the goddess of love in the manga quite a bit.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're taking a little bit of that.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Well, we cut to Ray's house, where the sick girl gets a call from Makoto, who is also under the weather. Makoto tells Ray that Usagi and Ami are also very sick, but Minako is the only one who's not sick. Mm-hmm. She's taken it upon herself to nurse the soldiers back to health. Just then, Minako bursts in and says, "Yoo-hoo! I heard you caught a cold." Minako is shaking her basket up and down, and from inside we hear Artemis saying, "Oh, it hurts! Minako!" We cut to Makoto's house and see her wince away from the receiver. She hangs up the phone. She looks around at what Minako just finished doing to her place, which looks like a tornado hit it.
Yes.
A love tornado. Back at Ray's, Minako has made Ray porridge and says, "I made it right this time." And Ray's like, "This time?" And Artie says, "We just came from Ami's and Makoto's places too." Minako says, "Those are miserable failures, and I feel bad about it. Anyway, eat up." Ray gingerly takes a bite of the porridge as Mina looks on. She swallows it and immediately breathes fire across the room and collapses. Artie tastes the porridge and says, "It's too much salt." Minako says, "Oh no, I did it again. I'm such a bad girl." A sentence which contains 2 Britney Spears song titles. And the porridge is toxic. So. Ray says, I'm just going to sleep for a while. Minako says, oh, let me clean this up for you. She promptly spills the porridge all over Ray. Minako says, "Oh no, let me get you a clean blanket." And she tugs at the blanket and sends Ray flying, really just hitting every branch on the way down the comedy tree.
Yep.
The only thing they're missing is for the blanket to knock over a candle and the drapes go up and ha-ha.
Oh my God.
Artie says she's really not doing it on purpose. And Ray says if she was, she'd be worse than Esmeraude. The bed now made, Mina says, here, let me put some music on while you sleep. Is this your favorite cassette tape? Let's see here. And she starts fumbling with Ray's boombox like a Luddite grandma. Of course, the music begins blasting at 11 immediately. But we did Spinal Tap 2 weeks ago, so we'll move on. Mina again starts fiddling with the tape player, and it explodes, leaving her burned like Daffy Duck and covered in ribbons of Ray's tape.
Yes.
This does not make Ray happy, and she screams in rage as Minako and Artie flee. In the Juban shopping district, Minako laments that once again her nursing efforts didn't go as planned. She thinks, well, I'll have to work extra hard at Usagi's place. And Artie says, wait, we're doing it again?
I know.
And Mina says, of course, their whole family is sick. Who's going to save them if I can't? And Artie says, ever hear of misplaced kindness? But Minako remains undeterred. We cut to the already installed dark henge, with Esmeraude admiring the energy it has already collected. I think each henge is more and more successful. I thought they were supposed to make a pentagram, but maybe you can do it with one or a few more, because every time we see one, it gets bigger.
Yes.
And she's already said it before the episode starts, because
has.
everybody's sick. So she keeps getting a jump on this, and they get bigger and bigger. So maybe if it gets like skyscraper tall, it's game over. I don't know. But she says, Dear Prince Demando, I hope to see you soon. And 1,000 years in the future, a shiver runs up Demando's spine. Off to the Sakino household, where Usagi is on the phone with Ray. Usagi is telling Ray she just got calls from Ami and Mako about the coming of Minako. Usagi says, I'll watch out for her, but we've already got a feisty girl. We hear a child's scream, and Usagi says, gotta go, and runs to the balcony to see Chibiusa hanging off of it.
I know.
Ikoku Mama drags her back up to safety and says, you don't have to help me, just go and play. How did she help so bad that she almost fell to her death?
That's what I want to know.
That's some bad helping.
Yep.
Chibi's not sick. Maybe it's her future metabolism and immune system.
Sure.
But she wants to help around the house because everybody's under the weather. Usagi says, if you want to help, do what you're able to do. Chibi says, she can do laundry. But Usagi says, oh yeah, who dropped the clean sheets? Usagi, she almost fell off the balcony.
I know.
She's alive. Treasure her. Mama-san is getting a headache, so she goes to lie down. Maybe lock the door to the balcony first. Chibi yells after her, can I clean? Or cook something? Let me help! Usagi says, I wish somebody would play with Chibi. And a voice says, that duty falls to me. And a figure cloaked in the sheet that fell to the ground throws back the sheet to reveal Minako, the goddess of love. She leaps from the ground to the balcony somehow. And says, please allow the goddess of love to take care of Chibi and your family. And Usagi's like, all you have to do is play with Chibiusa. Mina says, oh, you should be in bed. And Usagi's like, no, I'm fine, please. But Minako's not having it. She says, there's an old saying that tomorrow will be another day to catch a cold. And Chibi's like, yeah. Don't encourage her. Minako ushers them inside, and Artie says, it's tomorrow will take care of itself. Uh-huh. That's from the Bible.
I know. I looked that up.
Matthew
I was like,
6:34.
Why is she quoting the Bible wrong? But
we can talk about it now.
Uh-huh.
I think Minako goes to church.
You do?
Yes.
Why do you think that?
Because she's the only sailor that would. They all have pretty diverse lives for being teenage girls. Uh-huh. And I don't think any of the rest of them would. And also, I don't know. We haven't got to that episode yet in Pretty Guardian Sailor Noob, which we're talking about on our Patreon.
Yes.
But there's a big cross behind her the first time she transforms. I'm not sure what's going on in the scene, but it made me think, statistically, one of these kids is a Christian.
Huh. Okay. Interesting.
So if anybody, why not Minako?
Right.
Usagi's finally resting in bed along with Luna, who apparently has also caught the cold. There are some viruses can be shared between cats and humans.
Okay.
H1N1. And some coronaviruses can.
Yeah.
Not SARS-CoV-2, though.
Right.
Luna says, you're lucky, Artemis. Oh, can you imagine if that was true?
What?
We would be... So, it doesn't matter what side of the political spectrum you're on or how you feel about science. People love their pets.
They do.
And if cats and dogs could get COVID, everybody would be inside.
Yeah.
Everybody would have a mask on and get vaccinated.
Unless there were some jerks who just don't care about animals, and then screw those guys.
But that's not a platform that you can
No.
sustain.
No, it's not.
You can basically, without saying it directly, want certain people to die.
Mm-hmm.
And some politicians do.
Yeah.
But nobody can get away with, let's kill these doggies.
No.
Nobody can.
No. I thought that there was like some rumors that maybe there were some cases in cats and dogs like early on.
Yeah. But pets do get flus and colds.
Yeah.
Just usually not human ones.
Yeah.
Luna says, "You're lucky, Artemis." They say, it's another saying, only some people will never catch a cold. And I think this never comes through. They don't clarify this.
Yeah.
But I think she means stupid people, right?
Yes, I think that's what she means.
These Japanese proverbs. Let me localize it. He's so slow, he couldn't catch a cold.
See, that makes
like
more
that,
sense. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to get a job with D. Before Artie can react to this, the bedroom door swings open and we see Nurse Minako and Nurse Chibi.
I know.
Ready to do some nursing.
Yep.
Strike that. Make them well. Minako says, let's take Usagi's temperature. And Chibi has Luna P transform into a medical kit. Minako sticks the thermometer in Usagi's mouth. So is it like part of Luna P?
I
Don't
know,
understand.
but it's like she just asked for a thermometer. She makes a whole kit and then just takes the
Of her
thermometer
body?
out.
I don't know.
I know,
Luna
right?
P is slightly smaller when she transforms back.
It's the antenna.
Anyway, that's what it is. She's just a ball now. They wait for 3 seconds like you're supposed to. And it's totally silent, except for a series of beeps.
I know.
Which sound to my old-ass ears exactly like the starting beeps in the Atari 2600 pole position racing game.
It's very specific.
It sounds like this. And then Minako says, okay, and she takes it out. And it reads 37.5 C Celsius.
Yes.
Which is 99.5 Fahrenheit. It's hardly a fever. It's
Not
like barely
really,
elevated.
but it's just a little high.
And I don't know if Minako is disappointed by like not getting a higher result, but she starts shaking it. It's a digital thermometer. This does nothing. This would not do anything. And it somehow goes flying and it breaks the window in Usagi's bedroom. A cold air comes streaming in. Chibi has to do a Marilyn Monroe to keep her dress down. It's a disaster. Minako says, whoops, not taking your temperature is no big deal. Luna says, well, she's just as clumsy as Usagi. And Artie says, I know. The hole in the window is patched for now, and Mina says, I'll make you some porridge. And Usagi and Artie have these like looks of terror on their face. And Usagi's like, no, I just ate. And Mina says, I'll play some music to relax you. She walks over to Usagi's stereo with a CD. Mm-hmm. Strengthening my Ray is poor and Usagi is not argument.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
And Artie's like, no! But Minako says, I can't take care of her like this. And Chibi says, yeah, it's not fun. This has all been a game to Chibi the entire time.
I know!
And she loves it. And I love it. Usagi says, just go and see if my mom needs help. And they leave and everyone breathes a sigh of relief. But the relief doesn't last as we hear thumping. Like one or both of them are falling down the stairs. And Usagi's calm is shattered by the window patch failing and cold air rushing in, and the audience's calm is shattered by that terrifying Luna mouth scene transition again.
I know!
Downstairs, Minako says, okay, let's regain our honor. And Chibi says, wah! That's what she says.
I know!
And so begins a montage of domestic disaster as they bumble their way through a series of chores. Dishes are breaking. Vases, too. There are holes in the curtains somehow. Minako is putting dirt on the windows.
Seems like it.
Usagi and Mama look on in resignation, and Mom says, I'll clean it up after I take a nap. And Usagi thinks, what a mess. And then she starts feeling dizzy. She gets Umino eyes.
Yes.
And she collapses and has a dream about an eye catch with a flute sound. Which then turns into a romantic Christmas dinner for two.
Yes.
Sultry sax music plays, and we see Usagi and Mamoru dressed for dinner. Usagi says, it's so nice to spend Christmas with you, Mamo. And as they lean in to kiss, they're interrupted by the giant heads of Usagi's friends, saying, you're still in junior high. It's 10 years too soon for a date like this. What do you think's going to happen?
I don't know!
Mamo and the dinner disappears. Oh no! And Usagi is left with just the tablecloth, which promptly catches fire. There we go. I knew he'd hit fire at some point. Usagi feels like she's burning up. And she is, in the real world.
Yes.
She tosses and turns in a fever, but Minako puts a cold towel on her head. without, like, strangling her with it or something.
She actually did an okay job.
Just forcing
this
it
time.
down her throat.
Yeah, right.
Is this it? Usagi says, have you been taking care of me this whole time? Why do you work so hard to take care of me? And Minako says, you're very important to me, so I feel I should protect you. And Usagi says, because I'm the princess? But Minako says, I feel close to you. I like that you're full of energy. So get well soon. And Chibi's been helping too. And Chibi says, we have to get everyone's medication from the hospital. Also, we got like 9 minutes to squeeze a droid fight in here. Let's go! Minako and Chibi head to the hospital, and Chibi's having a grand old time.
Oh my god.
At the hospital, the physicians need to help thyselfs, because everyone's knocked down in the halls.
Mm-hmm.
This is where Esmeraude's dark henge is installed. Esme appears and asks her droid, Pharmacon, who is disguised as a nurse, how it's going, and she responds, it's going great, and also that she has pills and injections of dark power that will get even more energy from humans. Is this the plan?
I think it's
the
plan.
This is a dastardly plan.
Yeah.
To presumably take advantage of a pre-existing flu epidemic, then give people shots and pills that is medicine that will weaken them because it's taking their energy, and then they feel it's all hidden by the existence of the epidemic.
Yeah, right.
It reminds me of a Star Trek episode.
Oh my goodness.
Called Time Zero, where aliens from the future go back to San Francisco in the early 20th century when there was a cholera outbreak, and they steal people's mental energy, which is their souls, basically.
That sounds
and so people die,
very much like
but
Sailor
those dead
Moon.
people just get thrown in with the cholera victims. So they're never found out.
Yep.
They're called Ophidians because they have these snake-like staves. You just want to talk about Star Trek some more?
I
talk about Star Trek.
think you want to talk about Star Trek some more.
We gotta move on. Minako and Chibi arrive at the hospital, but no one's there. And Chibi goes full Karen at the reception desk.
Oh my god.
She's like, what kind of a hospital? Hello? When I came to Juban Hospital, I did not expect to be kept waiting.
Customer
She
here.
just starts running through the halls and she's yelling, I am a customer!
I
know. Well, Esme hears this. She's in the back room with the droid, and they're like doing the pills. They're making up whatever these pills are. Esme has a doctor's head mirror on. When is that going to stop being shorthand for a doctor? I know this is 30 years ago. But
I've got questions
I feel
about
like,
that.
What?
Like, did people actually wear that? Because you see that in cartoons all the time, and I know that it's shorthand for
it's shorthand.
doctor.
It's shorthand for Victorian medicine. It's shorthand for pre-electric lights. Because now the doctor or the dentist just goes boop and pulls that light in right on, on the boom.
By the
but
time
what it
cartoons
does is
come around.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. It is when somebody has that, because there's no other profession in the world.
No.
A miner would have a headlamp. How come doctors don't have a headlamp with
right.
a thing on it, right?
Right.
Well, because it's electric, right? But yeah, that's it. It's practical. It captures the light and redirects it. There's a hole in the middle that it's like you don't really look through the hole. You can, I guess, if you really need to get in there. But that's what it does.
Huh.
But it's been obsolete for 100 years now.
That's so strange. That is such a strange thing.
It's like the barber pole.
Yeah, well.
Speaking of things that we've talked about in Japan.
Yes.
What is that even supposed to be still?
I don't know if people really know. I can't even remember. We talked about the history.
The red
of
is supposed to be the blood because they they let blood back in the day.
Yeah.
And I think it ties into the wand of Elsepius.
I think so.
The snake and
the staff. So, yeah. But now it just represents a barber shop. That's just what it means.
She doesn't even bother to, well, she kind of does. She's not here to pretend to be a doctor, but she's got a lab coat and a head mirror on for some reason.
And a stethoscope.
Yeah, she's got a stethoscope. Who's she going to listen to?
I don't know.
She needs to everybody is unconscious. There is no one to fool except this weird red-eyed child that just busts in.
She's screaming she's a customer. I got to check and make sure her lungs are good.
Speaking of which, they're in the back room and she's pink glittering all the drugs they have. Woo!
Yeah.
And she says, there's a kid that can yell that loud still?
Yep.
What the hell? Chibi runs in and says, hey, give us our drugs. And Esme's like, this kid, oh, hi. I'll just give you a flu shot first.
Yeah.
But Esme doesn't know kids, at least not kids of the 20th century, because Chibi hears shot and she's out of there.
Mm-hmm.
And Esme's like, well, I won't charge you for it. And Chibi's like, yeah, the money's not the issue.
Yeah, no.
But Esme says, Pharma, hold her still. And yes, she does squirt a little fluid out of the syringe.
Why?
Because that bit goes with the stethoscope and the head mirror. Well, right about then, a pillar of energy shot out of little Chibi. And all around Tokyo, the 4 sailor soldiers knew their little bundle of trouble was in trouble.
Yeah.
Esme's like, oh, she's the rabbit? Why don't I know what she looks like? Why doesn't she know what she looks like?
I don't know.
Minako immediately becomes Sailor Venus and runs in before Pharma, who is transformed into her droid form, can kill Chibi.
Yeah.
Standing atop... I can't even keep it straight anymore. Somehow she's standing up by some windows on a higher level. If these girls were fighting on the moon, they'd find the tallest rock to stand on.
Yes.
But she says, chasing a little girl and spreading evil, I won't forgive you. I'll call down the judgment of love. Esme says, you already knew the location of my dark henge? Is that why you're here? And Venus says, of course. And Esme says, and you knew that we were using this hospital as a base of operations and we spread dark power through tainted medication? Of course. If it's not dark power, then why am I here?
Yes.
This whole time, Chibi's like, I don't think she knew all that, but whatever. Esme says, oh, I guess we underestimated you. Pharma, kill. Across town, Usagi is struggling to reach Chibi. She's pulling herself through the street, just grabbing onto street lights. Luna says, you're in no condition. But Usagi says, I have to help Chibi. And we cut across town to see Ami, Rei, and Makoto also fighting to reach the hospital. At that hospital, Venus fires Crescent Beam at the droid, but it dodges and stabs at her with its scalpel hand. Venus uses Love Me Chain and grabs the blade arm, but Pharma fires her syringe arm at Venus like a rocket, which, let's face it, she should have expected. She dodges the first one, but doesn't dodge the next 9 and gets pinned to the wall.
I know.
Good aim. Esmeraude laughs in triumph and says, kill the rabbit first. And Pharma launches a syringe rocket at Chibi, but before it can make contact, it's smashed by a single red rose thrown by Tuxedo Mask, who is going to have to settle for a ground floor entrance this time, I guess. Although they do pan from Chibi on the floor up to him, and he's farther down the hall. So it's like,
oh my God.
Same camera move, similar to his usual entrance.
Right. It's in his contract.
He says the hospital is a house of life. I cannot forgive those who taint and abuse it. And Esme says, what the hell are you talking about? Pharma, kill him!
You're not hot anymore. Stop.
Before she can act, sparkling wide pressure and Shaban spray explode through the hall, filling it with mist. The 4 sailor soldiers surround Esme, and Rei says, so you were behind the epidemic. And Venus is like, what are you guys doing out of bed? But they say, we're fine, because you took care of us. Now let's take out this bug. Okay, says Rei. And burning mandala. Now Sailor Moon. But Usagi is too weak to do her attack. Tuxedo Mask, who's holding Chibi in his arms. She's too weak to complain about that. He says, be strong, Sailor Moon. I love the energetic you. And she says, oh yeah. And an MPH and Pharmacon is no more.
Yes.
Out of network.
Great.
We did it. But Venus, who is still pinned to the wall, says, you guys get me down? No?
A little help here.
On the wall? In the back room, the dark henge shatters, and before she disappears, Esmeraude vows vengeance on the Sailor Scouts. The next day, we see Juban Shopping District, and everybody looks healthy again. Business as usual. And we get a voiceover to that effect, courtesy of Artemis, who I guess is doing it in real life, because we cut to Monaco's bedroom, and he's like finishing the narration, and Venus like, shut up. They both sick.
Yeah.
And Luna's there and she says, hey, great news. You caught a cold. You're not an idiot.
Thanks.
Yeah. The door opens and it's Nurse Usagi and Nurse Chibi.
Yep.
With porridge.
Yes.
It's payback time.
Yep.
They give her the porridge. They're going to take her temperature. They get in a fight. Mina says, is this what they mean by perfect your recipe by tasting others? I don't know. No one knows what you're talking about. Walking fortune cookie?
I think it's something like perfect the recipe by tasting. It's similar, but she just always gets it a little wrong.
To me, and of course these aren't like one-to-one word translations.
No.
But that makes sense. If that every other one she has said didn't make any sense. That kind of makes sense.
It kind of made sense.
But it's not good enough for Artemis.
No, he's got to tell you. Although
he'll get his.
Does he even correct her at the end there?
No, because he's just like,
he's so sick.
He's like,
that's how you know he's sick and he's done. He doesn't correct her.
It's a Minako jam.
Yeah. People really get down on
quote
unquote filler episodes, but I think that there's a lot of hate getting thrown around, and this is a great example of an excellent episode that, you know, maybe not a lot of huge developments happen, but we get a lot of great character moments.
Does it feel like every Esmeraude episode has kind of been a filler episode? They're just they are burning through these, and there aren't even any future scenes. It's like they've just gone, okay, we're in phase 2 of Black Moon, but instead of having 4 plus 1, 5 characters to bounce off of each other and to have things, now we've just got these guys. But it's that problem in like the late second act or early third act of like an action movie where it's like, okay, all the character development is done. Now we'd have to go boom, 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 get the thing in the thing, and then move the MacGuffin over here. And so we're not even cutting back, because I would like to know what's going on with Prince Demando in the future. And I'm sure that stuff is being backloaded to like the end, but you could sprinkle it through here. But it does kind of feel like it's just like, let the intern do one. You know what I mean? Not that it's bad quality, but it's almost, it's like it is these quote unquote throwaway ideas where, what if everybody got sick?
Right.
But in the meantime, you're like, you're burning daylight on, like Esme's time is running out, right? If she only gets these 5 hinges. So
yeah, right.
She's just it's just a waiting game. She's just an obstacle in between, you know, our heroes and the final bad guy.
I hate to think of it like that.
But that's what it is, I guess.
I mean, I guess in some ways, yeah. And I think what you said, too, is a good point. That, like, maybe we don't get as much character development as far as Esmeraude is concerned, because the only characters that she, when we don't go back to Demando and Saphir, the only characters she can talk to are her droids, who are her subordinates. So
they're programmed to listen.
Right. They're programmed to listen, but she's not necessarily, like, you know, sometimes she just gives monologues to herself about how much she misses Demando. She's not, like, you know, giving her heart to the droids.
Yeah,
like,
and the droids don't want to be around when she does that.
No, okay, no. Like, I am malfunctioning.
I am programmed to have tact.
There she goes again.
I think we have to talk about the thing we always talk about. The parallels between Usagi and Minako as characters.
Yeah, let's do it.
And does this team have enough room? Shouldn't the girls get together and go, all right, clumsy girls, let's flip a coin. Let's draw some straws or something. One of you has to become more capable. Or get out of this team.
Yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying. I feel like in the manga, she's not as clumsy as Usagi. But I feel like in the anime they made them more similar, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like they were doing a thing, kind of. I mean, they both had blonde hair, and they both have, you know, she was Sailor V before, and she had her own thing, and she was, you know, going to originally be the leader. So I think that, you know, they definitely have a lot of similarities, but yeah, I understand what you're saying. Like, why not make them more different?
I was thinking about the idea of misplaced kindness, because Artie is also throwing some of his stuff in.
He is.
And nobody corrects him. And I don't know what he's talking about. I mean, I guess I can understand the idea of, like, harmful help, hurtful help.
I think that's what really he meant. Yeah.
What the tenet of the Hippocratic Oath is. The Hippocratic Oath.
Right.
Do no harm.
Right.
Right. Don't help it, or help so much in a way that it causes harm.
Right.
Which is, like, absolutely what she's doing.
It is. Like,
she's harming the hell out of these girls.
I know. She's
get her out of there.
irritating them. They just need
Take her
rest.
license away.
I know.
Where's the AMA? The JMA.
Yes. Well, I think I thought of, like, killing them with kindness, but I don't think that's maybe not quite the right phrasing either, you know, but just like...
But that's a different thing.
You're right.
It's totally different.
It is.
And the other thing that I thought about this was they got together last week, Usagi and Mamo, and this is the follow-up?
Good point.
We're not going to do anything with this?
She had a dream.
Did she catch the flu from him or something? Yeah, she had a dream, I guess. But she could.
He's not sick.
No, I know.
As far as we know.
I know. Why does he even show up in this episode? His contract. Yeah. So anyway, I just hope that we're going to go somewhere with that. But it's they build up to it for so long, and then it's like, oh, no, it's a robot that shoots syringes at people.
Yeah. Moving on to something completely different.
And now for something completely unrelated.
Yeah. I did want to mention, I don't know if this has come up before, but in Japan, typically Christmas Day is considered more of a day that you spend with your significant other than with family.
Interesting.
So I think that's kind of why the romantic date with Mamo.
Christmas Day.
Christmas Day.
A?
Yes.
But Christmas night,
Well, or Christmas night, what have you.
No. There's a difference. So Christmas, like, you have brunch with your SO, and then you go home and have KFC with your family. Okay. When does the KFC... Let me ask the important questions here. When does the KFC come out?
Well, you could have KFC with your significant other, so...
Ooh, la-di-da. Why did I never try that?
Yeah, I just meant the whole...
Because I wouldn't have a significant other.
I just meant the day of Christmas is usually spent with your significant other, and then, like, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day is spent with your family more.
Okay, so because we flipped that.
Yeah.
Because New Year's Eve is when you kiss your special someone, but Christmas is when you stay in with the family.
Yeah.
And order a mayonnaise and squid ink pizza.
Sure.
Backtracking is back for an all-new season. Hi, I'm Caliban.
And I'm Gooey Fame.
And we'd like to introduce you to Backtracking, the podcast that explores the real-world inspirations behind your favorite episodes of Star Trek.
From historical events to classical literature to blockbuster films, we go where no pod has gone before to seek out the origins of classic Trek tales.
Did you know, Gooey, that the TNG episode Too Short a Season was an allegory for the Iran-Contra affair?
Yeah, only sweatier. Did you know that the Enterprise episode Regeneration was an homage to the John Carpenter film The Thing?
Archer and T'Pol freezing to death over a bottle of whiskey would have been a controversial ending.
As a dog lover, Archer would not like The Thing, I'm guessing.
Oh my god, movie night is canceled. Join us every other Thursday for a journey back to the beginnings of the Trek universe.
Backtracking is available wherever you get your podcasts.
No, Porthos!
For Kyoro Miru, or Curiously Looking Around, where we talk about elements of Japanese culture within the episode, today we are going to talk about somebody who was mentioning in the opening preamble, Hideyo Noguchi. Yeah, so in the preview before the episode starts, Usagi says, "What? This cold is also the work of the Black Moon? How dare you trouble everyone with a mysterious virus? Even Dr. Hideyo Noguchi is mad." So
good pull.
Yeah, well.
Why does she know who that is?
I think we'll talk about that a little bit.
Even Dr. Detroit is mad. It's
yeah.
like, what?
Well, we'll get to it. So we found out from the fan sub that we were watching that Dr. Noguchi was an American-based Japanese bacteriologist who discovered the agent of syphilis in 1911.
The agent being the microorganism, the spirochete.
Yes.
What it is.
Right. Exactly. So
because before that, nobody knew.
Right.
It's like, oh, I just have something's wrong. Something's wrong.
We know something is wrong.
Yeah.
But we don't know how to get rid of it.
You can give the wrong to other people.
Right.
You just deal with it.
Right. Exactly.
And then, 10, 15 years, you go crazy.
Yeah.
From late stage.
It's great.
Tertiary syphilis.
No, it's not great. So Hideyo Noguchi, whose childhood name was Seisaku Noguchi, was born to a family of farmers in Iwashiro, Fukushima Prefecture in 1876. When he was 1.5 years old, he fell into a fireplace and suffered a burn injury on his left hand. There was no doctor in the small village, but one of the men examined the boy, and I guess most of the fingers on the left hand were mostly gone, and the left arm and the left foot and the right hand are burned, but he didn't know how badly.
How long was he in the fire for?
I don't think very long, but it just happened. It seems like it feels like it happened really quickly. In 1883, Noguchi entered Mitsuwa Elementary School. Thanks to the generous contributions from his teacher Kobayashi and his friends, he was able to receive surgery on his badly burned hand. And he did actually recover about 70% mobility and functionality in his left hand through the operation.
It's like a Johnny Tremaine situation.
Right. I don't know who that is.
It's Johnny Tremaine it's historical fiction. It's a novel about a kid who is like the Forrest Gump of the American Revolution. So he is like a tinker or something like that, a tinker's apprentice in Boston.
Okay.
And they're working with molten silver. And I think somebody actually screws him over because they don't like him. But like he basically gets molten silver on his hand and it like burns and melts his hand.
Awesome.
So he's basically got one hand. But that doesn't stop him from, meeting Paul Revere and getting in with the Tea Party and the Midnight Ride and all that stuff. And it's like a kid's eye view or teen's eye view of the American Revolution.
Huh.
It made into a Disney movie.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
When?
50s or 60s.
Oh.
You gotta remember that Disney's been churning out movies way before Pixar, before Marvel. They've got all these movies.
What was
and when
it?
you're in a church youth group, and they can't watch R-rated films, that's what they show you.
So what was the movie called?
It's called Johnny Tremaine.
Oh, okay. It does kind of seem like a made-up name almost.
1957 was when it came out.
Okay. All right. Yeah, it does seem similar to that, except in reality. Noguchi decided to become a doctor to help those in need. He apprenticed himself to Dr. Kane Watanabe, who was the same doctor who had performed the surgery on his hand. And he.
How many doctors are in this town?
Well, maybe he was just so enamored with this guy. He was like, "This is the guy." I don't know. He entered Saisei Gakusha, which later became Nippon Medical School, and he passed the examinations to practice medicine when he was 20 years old in 1897, which I get the impression was, pretty young. In 1898, after reading a Subouchi shoujo novel that followed a college student who... there was a character who had the same given name as him, Seisaku, and that character in the story was an intelligent medical student like Noguchi, but became lazy and ruined his life. So he decided to change his name to Hideyo, because he didn't want to be like that character and be lazy and ruin his life.
So this is like, okay, the Johnny Tremaine parallels are still here. But it'd be like if you went like, idiot burned himself with silver. I'm going to be Bob Tremaine.
Right. It sounds so much better. In 1900, Noguchi traveled on the America Maru to the United States, where he obtained a job as a research assistant with Dr. Simon Flexner at the University of Pennsylvania, and later at the Rockefeller Institute of Medical Research. In the beginning, his work concerned on venomous snakes. In part, his move to the U.S. was motivated by difficulties in obtaining a medical position in Japan, as prospective employers were concerned that his hand deformity would discourage potential patients.
Johnny had the same problem. Did you say snakes before?
Yep.
Can we go back to the snakes?
Venomous snakes.
I'm going to hug and kiss the poisonous snakes.
Doing research on venomous snakes and I think
he's walking an edge. He's got a dark side.
Yeah.
He's out there burning his hand, and he's reading a book.
And 1.5.
About another guy and being like, oh, I don't want to be like this guy. He's like, what do you want to study? Snakes. You've come to the right place.
Yeah, I know, right? So he discovered that in a research setting, his hand deformity, it was a non-issue. It was
of course.
Nobody thought it was a problem or anything.
Trying to be a neurosurgeon.
No, right, exactly. In 1911 and 1912 at the Rockefeller Institute in New York City, Noguchi was working to develop a syphilis skin test similar to the tuberculin skin test. The subjects were recruited from clinics and hospitals in New York. In the experiment, Noguchi injected an extract of syphilis called, I believe it's pronounced lutein. It's Luetin, under the subject's upper arm skin. Skin reactions were studied as they varied among healthy subjects and syphilis patients based on the disease's stage and its treatment. Of the 571 subjects, 315 had syphilis. The remaining subjects were, quote, controls. They were orphans or hospital patients who did not have syphilis. The hospital patients were already being treated for various non-syphilitic diseases such as malaria, leprosy, tuberculosis, and pneumonia. Finally, the controls were normal individuals, mostly children between the ages of 2 and 18 years. Critics at the time, mainly from the anti-vivisectionist movement, I'm not exactly sure.
Vivisection is the live dissection of animals.
Okay. They noted Noguchi's violated the rights of vulnerable orphans and hospital patients.
Oh, okay. So when it's humans, it's called a crime. It's called assault.
Yeah. So
our hero.
So this is kind of in. We'll get to it in a minute, but there was concerns on the part of these anti-vivisectionists that children would get syphilis from Noguchi's experiments, and it became a public scandal, and the media discussed it at length. In Noguchi's defense, Rockefeller Institute's business manager Jerome D. Green wrote a letter to the Anti-Vivisection Society, which had protested the experiment. Green pointed out that Noguchi had tested the extract on himself before administering it to subjects.
Fine.
Right. I don't think that really means that it's fine, but and his fellow researchers had done the same. So it's fine. So it was impossible that the injections could cause syphilis. So
they say that, the person that defends himself in court has an idiot for a client, right? Mm-hmm. And like the doctor that tests things on himself has idiots for patients or whatever.
Yeah, right.
Whenever somebody's like, I'll do it myself, then that's how you get a beast, a Henry McCoy.
Yeah, right. Good point. Yeah.
Yeah, great point. I'm going to take that to the AMA. Gentlemen, consider Dr. Henry McCoy.
Okay, all right. At the time, society had not developed a consensus about how to conduct human experimentation. And feelings...
Speaking of syphilis.
Yeah, right. And feelings varied about the medical research community. Anti-vivisectionists linked their concerns for animals, here we go, with concerns about humans. It should be noted that the American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Children was founded in the late 19th century after the American Society for Prevention of Cruelty to Animals.
If pets got COVID, this would
Good
be over.
Point.
This would be over.
Children? Not
it's
my
child
dog.
abuse to make your dog wear a mask.
Oh my goodness.
And you should say something.
Oh my god.
Sorry, go ahead.
This is okay. It gets worse.
Oh no.
Noguchi himself, however, was diagnosed with untreated syphilis in 1913.
Because he gave it to himself.
I don't know, but probably.
Jeez, we're gonna have gotten it.
I know. For which he refused treatment from Rockefeller Hospital. At the time, Green's explanation was considered a demonstration of the importance of the studies and the care that doctors were taking in research. They tested it on themselves. But in May 1912, the New York Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Children asked the New York District Attorney to press charges against Noguchi, and the DA declined. Noguchi was acquitted of any wrongdoing at the time.
Because F them kids.
I guess.
They're
orphans.
First of all, they're orphans.
Yes.
Second of all, this guy is, in some circles, a respected doctor.
Yes.
He's a foreign national.
Yes.
We don't care. We just don't care.
Right.
Sorry, Oliver Twist. You got syphilis.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's depressing. But so... He was acquitted of any wrongdoing, but since the late 20th century, his conduct of the study has continued to become considered an early instance of unethical human experimentation. I mean, yes.
Did he stop by Tuskegee?
No.
He would have loved it down there.
Oh my God, stop.
Well.
I know.
Not too different.
Yeah. In 1918, Noguchi traveled extensively in Central America and South America, working with the International Health Board to conduct research to develop a vaccine for yellow fever.
Oh, nice.
And to research Oroyo fever, poliomyelitis, and trachoma. He believed that yellow fever was caused by spirocate bacteria instead of a virus. Spirochete bacteria instead of a virus. His work on yellow fever was widely criticized as taking an inaccurate approach that was contradictory to contemporary research and confusing yellow fever with other pathogens.
Neat.
In 1927 to 1928, 3 different papers appeared in medical journals that discredited his theories. It turned out that he had confused yellow fever with leptospirosis. The vaccine he developed against yellow fever was successfully used to treat the latter disease. So, I mean, he is making contributions, but it's just... okay, all right.
Anybody can accidentally cure anything.
That's true. That is true.
He's just like going...
He's a little...
He's a cowboy doctor.
He's a little haphazard. It's not really exactly what you want in your
So, other
doctor.
than national pride, why do I assume the Japanese hold him in esteem? And would a cartoon for little baby girls expect anybody to know what the hell somebody's talking about?
Well,
I wish that Johnny Tremaine, I wish the end of his story was that he was like, you know, that he would dump tea off the American ships. People were like, no, wait, over here. Where the racist Native Americans are.
Oh my God, stop it.
He's like, let's dump ketchup too. No, we need the ketchup.
I think a couple of different factors. At this time, not many Japanese scientists were well known outside of Japan. So I think that, and I think, you know, his most famous contribution was identifying the agent that caused syphilis, and that's still, you know, thought of as this, you know, great achievement, even though the way he went about it wasn't necessarily super great. So there's that, and I think that's, you know, the biggest thing. And then he was honored a lot throughout his life, and so. Unfortunately, while he was doing his travels and trying to figure out a cure for yellow fever, his studies and everything, he got a little bit more erratic. I read somewhere, though, somebody was like, I don't know if this is backed up, but some people have speculated that maybe his erraticism was due to him having syphilis. And
sure.
like, you
it's
know,
very possible.
But a lot of people, like that he worked with other scientists, questioned his methods because he did a lot of work by himself
yeah.
and he didn't let other people test stuff.
That's what science is.
Yeah.
Just coming up with stuff.
Right. And
on
then,
your own.
Exactly.
And not checking it with anybody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then other times, like.
What if he was colorblind? And he thought he was taking yellow fever down. They're like, no, that's blue fever. What are you doing?
Right. Like, there are other tests too that he was like, oh, this is it. This is the thing. I found the thing. And then people would try to recreate what he did, and they couldn't recreate it.
Yes, that's called repeatability. It's
Yeah.
very important in science.
Yeah. So people were like,
I'd imagine his rigor wasn't great either.
No.
Well, you know, the wild, kooky world of science. Weird things happen.
Yeah.
Do you know that there are 2 men generally who are credited with discovering the existence of microorganisms about 10 years apart?
Huh.
One is named Robert Hooke, and the other is named Antony van Leeuwenhoek. They're not related. One's English, one's Dutch. They are not related at all, but they're both names both have Hook in them.
That is very strange.
So just weird things happen.
That's cool. I like that. So he was kind of decorated in some ways too, like
we're decorated with sores.
So So he was doing these testing in Africa on yellow fever, and like I guess he was also not really being careful with how the mosquitoes in the lab that had yellow fever with where they were being kept. and he was like gonna go back to America, and they were like, you can't go back to America, you've got yellow fever.
Oh, I can see this scene in the film.
Oh my God.
He's like, well, when I see the Statue of Liberty, I'm going to jump for joy.
But it's sad, though.
You can't go back to America.
I know.
You have yellow fever.
Because he ended up dying of yellow fever in 1928 at only the age of 52. So,
trying to treat it with a mixture of Cheeto dust and paraffin.
Probably. But the year that he died, so maybe it was kind of posthumously, in 1928, the Japanese government awarded Noguchi the Order of the Rising Sun, which is the gold and silver star, which represents the second highest of 8 classes associated with the award. And in 1915, he received this award at the 4th highest class. In 1979, the Noguchi Memorial Institute for Medical Research, the NMIMR, was founded with the funds donated by the Japanese government at the University of Ghana in Legon, a suburb north of Accra, which is where he was studying about yellow fever.
Yeah.
And also, since 2004, Dr. Noguchi's portrait has been printed on Japanese 1,000 yen banknotes.
Okay.
So yeah, in addition, the house near Inawashiro, where he was born and grew up, has been preserved and is a museum to his life and achievements. So he also was nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize in Physiology or Medicine many times during his career in 1913 through 1915, 1920, 1921, 1924 through 1927, but he never won.
We don't know how many votes he got.
No, I don't know that information. I just know the years he was nominated.
Because you can nominate somebody. Did he make the ballot?
And
did anybody vote?
I don't know.
I mean, you can nominate me. I recommend you do.
Did Noguchi nominate himself? Is that what you're saying?
Nobel Prize for podcasting. There better be. This is the 21st century. Gotta get on top of that.
What a guy. But he's on the 1,000 yen banknote. So there you go. $10, everybody. Gets you a Dr. Noguchi.
A $10 Noguchi.
Yeah, so...
Well, historical figures can be complicated.
Yes.
Do you know that Johnny Tremain liked the Kinks more than the Who?
Oh, ho, ho.
So I don't even know why we talk about them, though.
I did have a tiny language spotlight for today, and that's when Minako first arrives at Rei's house. She says, "Yahoo!" Very enthusiastically as she clatters Artemis around in her basket. So, Yahoo is frequently utilized to greet friends in Japanese. It's very casual and is typically used by young people, and it is more often used by girls than guys. And it is sometimes translated into English as yoo-hoo. So I just love it. She's, very enthusiastic, and that's exactly what you want when you're not feeling well, is somebody like super genki and up in your face.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So, yeah, it's fantastic. Itadakimasu with Usagi. What did Usagi eat in this episode? So, Minako serves Rei some porridge, and she says, I made it right this time. And as it turns out, she put too much salt in it. But when Usagi makes porridge, which is also not very good, but Minako tells her... she forces herself to say that it's good because she knows how Usagi feels, even though it's terrible.
Right. She's a good friend.
Yes, exactly. So the porridge is actually what's called okayu. It's a Japanese rice porridge. It is typically only eaten when you are sick in Japan, as it is known as a healing food. It's kind of like chicken noodle soup in the West. And okayu is made with rice and water. The uncooked rice is simmered in water in a pot until the rice breaks down and loses its shape. Since rice is soft, tender, and easy to digest, okayu is typically served to people recovering from illness, the elderly, or babies.
So it's like a mash of soggy rice?
I mean,
Do you
think
pour
of
it?
it-
Do you put it in the strainer?
no, you do not put it in
Straight
the
up.
strainer. You do not put it in the
I'm so
strainer.
upset. I put my leg down from the chair.
I love that. I mean, I think it's kind of similar in a way to oatmeal, right?
I
Like,
guess.
it's
But oatmeal is like an oat has
Yeah.
a germ and a corn from the Midwest. But it's tough, and then it becomes soft after a while. Rice begins basically soft. Like it's dry when you transport it, but like
Yeah.
when it gets wet, it's already just soft. And then if you just make it softer, I guess it's just a slurry.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what it is, but
Delicious.
this
I'll
is
take
not
a little turmeric and chicken and some noodles.
okay,
instead.
right? Well, but it's not uncommon in Asia. Okayu is similar to kanji, which is the Chinese rice porridge. However, unlike kanji, which is eaten with some type of protein, a variety of different ingredients, and eaten as a regular meal, okayu is specifically served as a healing food. The toppings are simple, and the okayu is always mild. However, it is sometimes served as a breakfast option at hotel buffets in Japan today. When Minako served Rei her okayu, there is a green leaf garnish on top. This is most likely mitsuba, which is a Japanese wild parsley that is commonly served as a garnish with okayu.
Huh.
It has like a celery-like flavor and is somewhat bitter in taste.
Okay.
So,
Interesting.
yeah. Villain gauge, rated baddie, 1 to 5 dark stars, 5 being the most wicked. The droid in this episode is named Pharmacon, which is pronounced Farumakan in Japanese. Pharmacon's name has the same root as the farmer root in the word pharmacy.
Big pharma.
Yeah, right. But to be more specific, Pharmacon in philosophy and critical theory is a composite of 3 meanings: remedy, poison, and scapegoat. The first and second senses refer to the everyday meaning of pharmacology and to its subfield toxicology, deriving from the Greek source term pharmakon, denoting any drug, while the third sense refers to the pharmakos, the ritual of human sacrifice, also a Greek word. So, yeah.
So here's what that means, because you just said a bunch of words. But here's what it means, and I won't be able to explain this very well because I don't get it. But in philosophy, it comes from the dialogues of Plato, I think Phaedrus or something like that. And it is the idea of something that can be either, like you said, either a drug or a poison.
Right.
Not only depending on how you translate the word, but also how you apply what we're talking about.
Right.
This pharmacon. So I think it once again goes back to the idea of the Hippocratic Oath and like not
right.
giving somebody something that's going to hurt them if you're
Right.
trying to make them better. You have something that the pharmacon is the catalyst, and will the catalyst improve what you're trying to improve, or will it
Make
hurt
it
something?
worse.
And so it can be something like a drug or a toxin or something like that, but it also can be like an idea or the application of an idea or a philosophy. I think that's what that means.
No,
but
I think you're
I
right.
mainly eschew and hate philosophy.
Oh, really?
I know it underpins all of Western civilization, but it's so boring.
Oh my goodness.
Where's a car? Vroom, vroom.
Okay, so her character design, Pharmacon's character design, is
Well, we
terrifying.
we complained about the skin. So what if no skin?
Yeah. Well, does she have no skin, or is it the absence of skin? She's got light purple epidermis, if it is epidermis. Short blue hair that's kind of shiny, maybe it's made out of like test tube glass or something like that. She's very shiny. Like she's got a lot of shine to her. Like she's made out of glass, or she's like, a liquid or something. I'm not exactly sure what it is.
It's a robot.
Yeah, I suppose you're right.
Right?
I mean, they're all droids. You're right.
No, I mean, but it's literally a robot.
Yeah.
There's an Japanese artist called Hajime Sorayama,
Mm-hmm.
who is famous for his pictures, his art of robots, female robots.
Sure.
So I think this was big in like the 70s and the 80s. And it's just like a robot lady in a bathing suit or in poses, that doing something that would be like a normal woman type thing. Like remember Nagel? Remember Nagel prints?
Mm-hmm, yes.
That's like the chicks with the butch haircut,
right.
and like hot popped collar or whatever.
Right.
It's kind of that,
big
but
chunky earrings.
Yeah, but they're like just like a robot lady. You'd see them on the cover of like sci-fi like novels a lot.
Okay.
Just for like horny nerds basically. But that's kind of what not exactly 1-to-1, but that's sort of what it reminded me of.
Okay. All right. I could see that. She's kind of pulpy. She's got a little bit of a pulp to her.
Does she?
I don't know.
That's her business.
She has a short purple dress that has the same kind of shine to it, and a matching purple collar, a white nurse hat with her jewel in it, and perhaps either a very dark purple or black knee-high boots. She has red eyes, and then her arms. One is a scalpel, and the other is a syringe full of a blue liquid. And she has a very cold look to her. She's very,
robotic.
Yeah, exactly.
Clinical.
That's better.
I'm a customer.
So for her rating, I'm definitely scared of her. And I think that her design is terrifying, and she does pin Minako to the wall with syringes, and Chibiusa runs away crying. But Tuxedo Mask is able to stop her, and she is no match for the Senshi. So I'm going to give her 3 out of 5 dark stars.
Okay. I guess that's fair.
Yeah.
I'm going to go 4.
Okay.
I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt. The fact that she literally doesn't appear until about 15 minutes into this
That's true.
22-minute show means that she never had a chance. But the fact that she completely, takes out one Sailor Scout on her own and is moments away from completing her mission of killing the rabbit, and it requires the interference of the entire Sailor Senshi squad to stop her. Plus, her look.
Well, her look is great.
Yeah, I love her look. A little monochromatic, but that's the look.
Right.
That is the look.
Exactly. And she makes an impression.
And she makes an impression.
Yeah.
So I gotta go 4.
All right. Since I was going to talk about, and maybe you disagree with me, but I feel like I have, overall been kind of less impressed with the droids as opposed to the Yoma of the first season.
Sure.
How do you feel? I feel like maybe I'm just getting tougher at how I rate them, or am I just not enjoying them as much?
Well, it's like we said, there is no situation where the droid shows up 3 or 4 minutes in and is like, we're going to run this pizza place into the ground,
right?
To stop the Sailor Scouts. And then we interact with them the entire time. They're creeping around in the background. And they're doing stuff like
right.
they have to share the stage with Esmeraude.
Right.
And also with the hijinks that the Sailor Scouts are going through.
Yeah.
And so, it could be, I don't feel like they've been lacking in quality.
Okay.
But it could be just that they are having to share so much screen time and get so little done.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what it is, but I feel like I'm not giving out as many 4s. So.
Well, we're not looking at a book she here.
No. Right.
Yeah. We're not looking at a,
what are some of the
Tensi?
other names?
I don't know.
Yeah, right, exactly. Was Kirine, was that the bat one? I don't know. I can't remember now.
An Oniwan Bandana comes once in a lifetime.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
We all know this. That's words to live by. So
yeah.
For Sabu or Dabu, where we talk about the most interesting differences between the sub and the dub. In the dub, the droid Firmicon is renamed Injector.
Okay.
Yep.
Why not Knife Hand? Why not Doctor?
That was an option, but they were like, no, we can't do that. That's too obvious.
Nurse Ratchet.
Ooh.
Not Ratchet. Ratchet.
Right.
Like a
ratchet.
Tool, a tightening tool.
Yeah. But the kids wouldn't have gotten that, but still.
I needed my own podcast. Go ahead.
While the Deke English dub of Sailor Moon changed Minako's name to Mina, Her apron in the episode, in the dub, when she serves Rei food, was unchanged, so it still showed her original name of Minako.
And 8 kids died.
Oh my god. Yeah, I know it's not a big thing, but the Deke dub also took out all the references to Christmas in this episode.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
I think they did not want it associated with.
Oh, they didn't make it
disease.
Happy Holidays instead.
Yeah. Yeah, they just took it all out.
Who's gonna say? You know what? You know what? I think that they did it for logistical reasons. I think they did it because they wanted to be able to air it at any time.
Oh,
and so
that could be.
We've seen how they
Could be.
sand every edge off until this thing is just frictionless, right? And so they don't want a kid to go, oh, why is it Christmas? Mommy, when's Christmas? I want a present. Or I don't know. I'm just,
or
I'm trying to think like a Deke executive.
Right.
Or a, Deke lackey
right.
for an executive who has to make these decisions.
No, I think maybe you might be onto something, because what if even when
they're
going
to air it all year around
right.
and again.
Right, and what if it originally aired in April, and they're like, well, we can't have that,
Yeah, right.
Exactly. So, I do have some trivia for this episode. When Minako and Chibiusa enter Usagi's room as nurses, Chibiusa's left arm either has 2 sleeves or an armband. And this also appears right before Minako suggests putting on some music. The second sleeve or armband is not present for the rest of the scene.
Huh.
So either way, there was some sort of mistake that happened. I read somewhere that it was a sleeve, but it kind of looked like it could be like a Red Cross armband, but there was you didn't see the cross.
Yeah.
But it was not there the entire time, so I don't know what to make of that.
I like too that Minako is in the sort of traditional 60s or 50s Nurse Ratched outfit.
Yeah.
And then Chibi's in the World War I Florence Nightingale outfit, because it's got a little skirt.
Yeah, it's
and
cute. It's more demure.
It's demure, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And this is something that we've kind of talked about throughout this episode in some ways, but maybe not surprisingly, this episode gained a lot of media attention around March 2020 because one of the scenes supposedly predicted COVID-19 pandemic.
Is this like the Simpsons thing where the bees are
right.
spreading through the...
and
I'll
it's
eat the bee. That's the cure.
I mean...
Oh, my mouth.
I know. I mean, it's okay. Yeah, okay, there's a pandemic, but it's not exactly the same thing, and supposedly it was caused by the Black Moon Clan.
Yeah, somebody get that Dark Henge already.
Yeah, right. Seriously.
Tokyo's trying to have an Olympics here.
I know. In the original Japanese episode, Deck the Halls and Jingle Bells are heard in the scenes at the Azabu Juban shopping district.
Take that out.
Yeah, well, that's what the American one did. But,
yeah.
This episode is the first time in the series that Makoto was seen with her hair down and not in her usual ponytail.
Right.
Which, I mean, she was sick, so... Yeah.
Cut her some slack.
Yeah, exactly. And one last one. Most items or weapons that belong to the droids disappear after the monster is killed. But in this episode, the syringes that Farmer Khan used to nail Sailor Venus to the wall remain. So even after she's gone.
Yeah.
So, which it was one of those things, I read that and I was like, I did not even think about that while I was watching it, but that's really true.
I did. How many droids make things that detach from them? Not many, I would guess. What happens to I guess I know she's a Yoma, but what happens to Oniwa Badana's kunai when she throws them? Do they also disappear when she does?
That's a really
not. It doesn't matter.
Well, let me put it to you this way. I would, if in another watch through, it would be an interesting thing to track, but I haven't been tracking it this entire time, so I don't know.
Next time around, we'll get on that. Actually, let's just go back to the beginning right now.
Right, and we'll just track that. That'll be the only thing we talk
Next
about.
Week, number one.
It'd be the shortest podcast ever. Everybody would love it.
Droid leavings.
The drippings of a droid.
The lost and found for droids.
All right, so now we are up to our rating. I love how helpful Minako is trying to be, and that Artemis even says to Ray that she isn't giving lousy care on purpose. And of course Ray's response to that. And Minako cares so deeply, but she just is not very helpful. But that is what makes this episode so funny, and I think that's also what endears Minako to the audience more. And eventually to Usagi and the other Senshi as well. I also like that she gets Chibiusa to assist her and that they dress up as nurses. And like you were saying, it's all a game to Chibi.
Yeah, she doesn't really. Yeah.
It's
I mean, the stakes are low anyway.
Yeah.
It is a dark power fever or flu, but it's still, they've just got the flu.
Right.
Or a cold. So it's not like, it's not life and death.
No.
But yeah, she's just like, come on, the game's not fun.
Yeah.
Put that in her mouth.
Yeah, exactly.
Stick
Play
that
that
on her
music.
head. Yeah.
Oh,
this isn't an oral thermometer.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure like having Chibiusa dress up with her as a nurse is not what Usagi had in mind when she asked Minako to help babysit. But I absolutely love this episode and would highly recommend and enjoy watching it at any time. So maybe they had the right idea taking the Christmas stuff out, although I do like the Christmas stuff. But I'm going to give it 5 out of 5 roses.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can't go 5.
Oh.
And I can go 4, but it's, once again, like a low 4. This is the 4 that's like, it was awarded, but nobody showed up to claim it. This is the 4. This is like a creative arts Emmy, it was like decided on, announced, and awarded before air at a different time. Because
faint praise.
Well, here we go again, and maybe the show is listening like it always is, but it's time to turn the screws here. Do you know what I mean? It's time to level this up. Mm-hmm. I'm tired of talking about how similar Minako and Usagi are. Like, the show needs to do something about that. I'm tired of talking about the show kind of marking time and just having fun or whatever. Having fun is fine, but I can only take so much more fun before we need to elevate it another level.
I understand.
And so I feel like this, once again, we talked about the throwbacks of like, oh, it looks like they're running a business, I guess. Mm-hmm. Are they saving the receipts? What happens when the tax man comes?
Right.
And trying to like snare little kids with their business. And it's not a Yoma, it's a droid. This is a throwback in that it's just like, like one of those old, oh, it's a lazy Sunday afternoon and we're going to go to the park or something. And then we get involved in mischief and the stakes are incredibly low. That's fine. Mm-hmm. But when I get somewhere.
Yeah.
I think I'm spoiled by the Alien On arc, which was relatively brisk. Mm-hmm. We had a couple points where we were like, okay, come on, let's pick it up.
Yeah.
So it's a 4 because it's well made. I appreciated, Minako is just funny. I appreciated that there's a lot of like meta gags. Mm-hmm. Not necessarily breaking out of the world of the cartoon, but just like things that were referring back to previous things that they'd done. And, I don't know, maybe the proverb bits are growing on me. I don't know. A stitch in time does save 9. And, all that was very pleasant. But this is a 4, but it's a 4 with like a look down, glasses, lower the glasses, eyebrows up. It's like this. It's a 4. It's a 4.
All right. My English title is Minako's Care, Haphazard Help.
Haphazard help. Yeah. Okay. That works. That works. My dig title in this case is Nursing a Kludge.
What's a kludge?
A kludge is something that's like thrown together. It's supposed to be like Minako. She's trying to be a nurse, but she's kind of just figuring it out as she goes. If you're going to kludge something.
Okay. So she's a haphazard nurse.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Next episode, we are talking about episode number 79. Artemisu no Boken, Mano Dobutsu Okoku in Japanese. Artemis's Adventure, The Monster Animal Kingdom, the English translation, and the English title, Dog Day for Artemis.
No.
Yep.
No.
Yep.
No.
Just no?
Why Dog Day Artemis? It's not nobody. That's they're putting me out of a job. Can you believe this? Kataka! Kataka!
Oh my.
Kataka!
Whoa. It got dark.
It's already dark.
I guess.
Right. You know what's dark? A world in which people don't hear us talk about Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon.
Yes.
On our Patreon, that's what we're doing.
Yes.
We're talking about Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon, the live-action TV series. And oh boy, if you like cheesy tokusatsu shows in the vein of your Beetleborgs, remember Beetleborgs?
No, I don't.
VR Troopers then.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's teenage girls fighting rubber monster costume people.
Yep.
It's illegal there, so it's fine here.
Whoa.
We're talking about it in our new segment called Pretty Guardian Sailor Noobs, because we're both new to the show. And we're checking out, giving our impressions, talking about the food, fashion, clothes, and culture of the 2000s of Japan.
That's right.
It ain't the 90s anymore.
That's right.
Which means, what exactly? Ties get skinnier.
Right.
I can only speak for the men.
Jeans get tighter.
In places.
Yeah.
But in other places, getting bigger.
Right.
So, I don't know.
I don't know.
It's just going to be a bunch of Paisley Pageboy caps, basically. So anyway, check it out by going to patreon.com/Sailor Noob. Join up to our Patreon and get our extra content and our outtakes and our reviews of Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon.
Yes.
With our IB Moo.
I know.
Coming straight at you.
Well, that's our show for this week, and the Name of the Moon will be punishing you next week with another episode of Sailor Noob.
Yeah.